Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Quest Find Reader. Guys, listen, you've heard me say this once. I'm going to say it again. I just finished reading a freaking fantastic new series. It's there's only one book out for you guys that don't like getting into really long series. It's about 680 pages, and it is probably one of the top 10, probably God, it's probably one of the top 10 books I've ever read in my life. I absolutely love it. I adore it. I need you guys to read it. It's the best thing I've read recently. I don't know how else. I'm gonna tell everybody I know about this series. And let's dive right into it. Right. So this is Kraken Rider Z by David Estes and Dirk Ashton. And listen, just listen. Get a copy of this and read it. I know it's not for everyone. Okay, whatever. If you don't like joy, if you don't like fun, don't read it. It's not for you then, right? If you like boring, depressing books, go ahead and read those instead. No judgment here. You can read whatever you like. But listen to me. If you like having fun and you like high stakes and you like a good story, read this. I don't know how the author managed to write all of this in 682 pages. All I know is that when, because I read it on the Kindle, so when I got to page 600, every few pages I would just look at the bottom to see how many I had left, and I would get sad, physically saddened at the fact that I was getting near to the end of this book, and that there's only one book out of the series. I need you guys, listen to me, authors. I need you guys to come out with book two. It's gonna go. It's going in my special place. It's going in my special zone. It has to go once there's enough books so it doesn't look awkward there. Anyway, this is a story. This is a progression fantasy. This is a coming of age. This is, gosh, how do I describe this? You like animal companions? Read this, right? Unlikely animal companions, but yes, right? What is this about? Okay, I'm going to give you the tropes and then we're going to talk about it in detail. So, like I said, there's animal companions. There are coming of age, very good progression fantasy. Probably one of the best progression fantasies I've read in a while. There is a great underdog story, and there is a magic school esque academia vibe. There's a lot of dark things that happen in this book too. But it is these guys are the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm gonna say that much. So our main character is his name is Z, like the letter Z, and then add two E's at the end. Taro, and he is a peasant. He is the lowest of the low. He'll never amount to anything in life, and that's what the hierarchy thinks of him. His goal is to be a dragon knight for His Majesty's army. So he wants to be a knight who flies on a dragon and protects the realm. Now, this is a luxury awarded to those of very high class or that are very politically, uh, entitled or wrapped around in the government and all that of the highest order, or people that just have a lot of money and can buy a slot into this. The issue is that Z is none of these things. He is dirt broke. He is so broke, in fact, that they sometimes have to, do extra chores and tasks to get money for food and whatnot. But he is a courageous little boy. He's about 7 years old at the start of this book. Um, he is sick. He has some sort of disease and nobody really knows what's going on with him, and it's not revealed until much later on in the book. Z one day, okay, so there are many mythical beasts in this story, and he's always been told to stay far away from the water because that's where all these creatures come out and attack and kill and stuff like that. And there's like mutated versions of like seals and barracudas and octopus and giant clam like creatures and squids and all these crazy creatures of the depths, but just times like 100. One day, there's like an earthquake. They call them earth shakes, and there's these happen often. And he sees a pile of three eggs, two that are hatched and one that's trying to hatch. He helps this little egg hatch, and it's a big egg. Not little. So, and then there comes an octopod like creature with 10 tentacles. Z just thinks it's like an octopus kind of thing and names him Jessup. Jessup and Z develop a beautiful friendship and realize that Jessup can talk, and learns human speech. Eventually, they're separated by forces that I'm not going to mention because I'm not going to spoil this entire book for you guys. Um, and Z goes to rescue him and sacrifices his time with Jessup um, for years. Z is found to be a fantastic human, but not really a human. He's different. And I don't want to tell you what he is because I want you to read this. I want you to be excited to find out who Z is and where he comes from. Anyway, so there, it's important to note that 10 years, there's like a 10-year time gap. And Z is now working. He is enslaved on a boat, on a ship, rather. No, not boats. It's like very humongous ships, and he has to do chores and tasks, right? But he never gives up on become wanting to become a dragon rider. Now, to become a dragon rider, there's two main deities, um, Postune and Zephyr. Zephyr has to do with like dragons and humans and the bond that they create, which is a reflected by a golden aura or light. And then Postune is anything that has to do with the ocean and the depths and all that good stuff. Um, Geez, I don't want to give you spoilers, but I at the same time, I feel like I need to talk about it with someone. So if you haven't read this, go read it in the comments so we can talk about it, please. I implore you. Anyway, long story made very short. Z finds his long lost friend, who is not so little anymore, and they embark on a journey to be the best they can be. And boy, after the 10-year time gap is when this book actually starts for me. There are so many wonderful things that these characters come together. You see, and I've never, maybe it's because I haven't read as many books as some of you guys, but I've never seen animal companions portrayed in a way just like this. This gives me vibes of the Bound and the Broken, of the bonds that they have with their dragons, but on a much deeper and intricate and well written level. And I absolutely love that with a passion. The Bound and the Broken is probably one of my favorite series because of those animal companions or dragon companions or whatnot. But this book to me just multiplied that. I love who Z is. He is humble. He is not snobby. He is righteous, and he is selfless. And Jessup is the same, only he's more hot tempered, but rightfully so. And this is their story. This is the story of two unlikely friends who start on a path to change the world. I can't wait. This book, not that it ends in a cliffhanger, but it ends in a place where if you just read this one, you'd have an amazing experience. But there's room for so much more for this to grow. And I wish this page were large enough that I could attract thousands of people to see this, and the author, and I would, feature the author, and they would, this would boost them to write the next story as fast as they can. We're not there yet, but it's fine because if I can get just a few of you guys into this story, and maybe you guys tell your friends about it, and maybe somebody will reach out to the author, and they'll see, man, that this book is amazing. I like I said, I encourage you guys to read it. It is, you're gonna get upset at some of the things that happen. You're gonna be happy at the triumphs. You're gonna feel sad at some of the experiences that the main characters go through. They make unlikely friends. They make friends of outcasts and people who are, or people and animals who are good hearted in nature. I I'm sad because I read this book already and I have nothing, and I'll never have the joy of reading it again for the first time. That's kind of how I felt about The Wandering Inn when I first read it. It's like, man, this is a journey that I just finished the first installment of, and I know that I'll never get that initial wow again. But you guys will if you haven't read it, and not that many people have read it. There's only 57 reviews as of the time of this video on Goodreads for this book. And boy, listen, this is going to be very high up on my progression fantasy tier list, which is I'm planning to do next. So, guys, if you enjoyed this, stick around. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. All your subscriptions, your comments, and your likes and your views really impact how fast this page can grow. And I appreciate every single one of you guys for doing this. It means the world to me. I'm happy to have a small community where we can just grow and just enjoy reading together. So I hope you guys stick around, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. Thanks so much for watching this. Have a good one.